Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, I've been watching Low Tier God for a very long time. I would say 2020, 2021, I've been watching him. And I've always enjoyed his content. Like, it's always funny. One video I remember him was reacting to, these Becky's, parking lot Becky. Also just different things like that. And I've always wanted to make a video on why I love Low Tier God. Like, I like the way he uses words. He's very expressive. He reminds me of, I'd say, Fat Joe. Fat Joe is no more for the capping aspect of things, but why I say it reminds me of Fat Joe is his ability to use words in different ways. I would call it artistic freedom. So Lothier God uses a lot of literary devices to make certain points. Yes, it's usually at someone's expense, but I have not seen anybody command the English language to the effect that Lothier God puts it to. So I've always wanted to make a video analyzing that and pointing out exactly how he uses his words, because a lot of his viewers, many of whom are haters, don't even understand. They don't understand how he's using the words. Yes, they don't always see the word have the appropriate meaning, but in the context of the speech, he's creating a new figure of speech that you've not seen before. Figures of speech are the fundamentals of literary expression. As someone who used to write, as someone who enjoys books, someone who also speaks and can definitely pick out these things, it's something that Luthier God does off the top of his head. It's purely smoothly from his heart. It's not rehearsed. So it's really an unparalleled skill that I have not seen in YouTube. Like, in my own sphere of YouTube, I've not seen it. I'll say probably the closest person. I can't think of anyone, honestly. Like, with Eight Thoughts is more. His is more phonetic, not phonetic, but more lexical. I don't know how to put it, but Lothier Gods is more poetic, more creative. So I really enjoy the way he uses his words and how he puts them together to express a certain emotion at a time. So I was watching this video. I didn't watch it to the end, but I got to a certain point and I said, this has to be the quintessential video of exactly why I love Low Tier God. So we'll watch it together and we'll react to it as we go.
Light filters. I think my new thing is I don't want to be good looking anymore, meaning I'm not going to focus on it. I'm already going to be good looking to the general public. Open.
So Lotte God has been discovered by the looks maxing community. And as you know, Lotte God is 6'5", peanut butter complexion, one of one black, new age black, and he's very good looking, at least according to him. So with the looks maxing community discovering him, obviously the natural expectation is something different than what he got. However, he gets a different surprise. Let's see.
Twitter and getting targeted about me? Negative or most likely? Let me watch it for myself. Rates with a look smacks. I don't give a fuck about give the model link so I could check it. Wait, hold on. Whoa, hold up. So you're telling me that this fat, crispy, balding, fluffy cheek, gut, sloppy, big ass, fat with no traps, no gun.
That's my problem, right? My problem with YouTube, Lotte God's recent YouTube content is the censoring, and you need the words. That's why I don't really like the fact that you have to censor words on YouTube. It takes away from the pure, the authenticity of the reactions. Where you have to get an editor to censor out the swear words. It's really bad. It really It really sanitizes YouTube a little bit too much. So it's very very antiseptic. I'm not happy with it.
No biceps, no forearms, no nothing that a woman would find attractive would dare try to give a nigga of my.
So he says, Clavicular was left speechless after Massa, the founder of the LooksMax site, rated low tier god just 4.5 for his looks, and then said that that was the highest score he could give him. He mugs, bro. I guess 4.5. If he mugs, why is it 4.5?
Stature a score like this? This is why I can't stand the internet. Like, who the fuck are these niggas anyway? Like, are you kidding me? Let me look. Look.
Oh yeah, he mocks, man.
What do you rate him?
Probably. Yeah.
Wait, out of 10? Look, when it comes to me, out of 5, no, these niggas did it for sure out of 10. When it comes to me, one thing for sure, if you don't say something positive about me, the clip will hit harder. It's literally just as simple. You got to be blind to call me a 4.5. Nobody on the planet Earth thinks I'm a 4.5. You said it was out of 5? Yeah. All right, I guess we can't all be perfect. If it's out of 10, this nigga's tripping.
Oh yeah, he mocks, man.
What do you rate him?
Probably PSL scale about 4.5, I would say.
What's the PSL scale? What's that? PSL scale. 4.5 is crazy. That's like ridiculous. Perceived sexual market value. Perceived. Okay, so it's 0 to 8, not 1 to 10. Okay, so I guess maybe there's a misunderstanding. For PSL, average attractiveness level where most people fall, low tier god is 4.5, according to this guy. So 7 plus. Right. Okay. So it's not out of 10, but it's still low, I think, for LTG.
Okay. People are gonna think obviously that's not a good rating because.
Oh yeah, it's got to be out of 10, bro. This nigga's just a fat, glasses, sloppy blob, abominable, cyclops body fat. There's no way and I don't even need.
So you see how he strung those words together, and this is what impresses me about low tier god: the fact that just off a reaction, he's able to string these words, multiple syllables. Most black creators can't do that. He's able to just string them along. It's coherent. It's consistent. I've never seen anybody do that. Right? As I said, the person that comes close is probably 8 Thoughts. But, 8 Thoughts talks very, very quickly. So,
Need these glasses. These are blue light filters. Eyesight perfect, by the way. How the is a 4 eyes, fat, disgusting blob with fat, blubbery cheeks, has a beard for no reason, big gap teeth, wearing polos to hide sloppy blubber, and overweight, disgusting, greasy body blubber.
So this is what I'm talking about. So this is what I mean, right? So if you notice, he used the word blubber maybe 3 times in that string. This nigga's doing strings, right? He uses the word blubber 3 times in that string. Nobody uses the word blubber. Nobody uses the word blubber in that context. Like, you've not heard someone using blubber like that. Only low tier god has the presence of mind, or I'll say that high dimension of the subconscious, to be able to use that word in that context in such a manner. It's honestly impressive. I have to call him the greatest YouTube orator. I have to.
What the is a 4 eyes, fat, disgusting blob with fat, blubbery cheeks, has a beard for no reason, big gap teeth, wearing polos to hide sloppy blubber, and overweight, disgusting, greasy body blubber. Gonna dare rate somebody of my stature a low rated. Like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. This nigga's just hating. Get the fuck out of here, man. Can't no fat, sloppy ass nigga like this ever rate somebody of my stature. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about with the internet. It makes sense for every stupid to say something negative about me, but then you niggas tremble IRL and I shit on you IRL 24/7. Imagine how this ugly nigga would literally look next to me in person. That's literally
That's true. That's true. Let's look at him again. 327. Look at this guy. He looks like, he looks like the 16-year-old kid. What is it? Was it Florida? The one who almost killed his teacher for taking his Nintendo Switch. Let me show you who he looks like. What's his name? Well, we don't care about his name, right? School student. Tramples teacher. Let's see, Nintendo Switch. Show you who he looks like. Yeah, that's. And I like the way they describe these guys. You see phrases like hulking Florida teen, prison time. Wow. 5 years in prison. So, yeah, let's see his picture. Let's see what it looks like. This should be the sentencing. 5 years for almost killing someone. Yeah, I have a separate channel for that. It's called Crime is the New Black Entitlement. I just want to see what it looks like in court. That's the most important thing. Oh, there he is. Look at him right there. They look the same. See? Look, it's the same guy. I mean, completely unkempt. Look at he's huge. He's bigger than everyone there. And he's allegedly what? How old is he? 18 years old. 17 at the time of the assault. I thought he was 16.
this is why I can't stand the internet. Like, who the fuck are these niggas anyway? Like, are you?
Yeah, but how can you be a looks maxer? Why? Why are you a looks maxer? One, you're not even fit. You don't even fit, honestly, the racial profile of a looks maxer. Looks maxing is more, it's more of a clavicular type thing. So why are you there? Is it because you're wearing the glasses? It doesn't make sense.
Kidding me? Let me look. I just look.
Oh yeah, he mocks, man.
Next to me in person, nigga. I'm basically like an archangel compared to this ugly ass nigga. A 4.5, nigga. Get your fat ass out of here, bro. Isn't this the fat ugly ass nigga that runs a looks maxing Reddit? Get the fuck out of here, man. Nothing about you looks maxes.
They don't know the PSL scale, but okay.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
I would say about like low tier normie, I would say, around there.
This nigga's out of his.
So he says a low tier normie. Is that what he said? I don't know what that means, but a PSL skill. So he's somewhere in between the average attractiveness level and above average to attractive. He's not quite above average. So attractive, he's just somewhere in between these two. Interesting. I wonder where I fall. I'll probably be a 4. Maybe a 3. Maybe. But low tier God should be at least a 6.5, 7. Like, no glaze, but yeah.
It's mine. These are the type of niggas that watch my 24/7 that have the nerve and the audacity to say something about a nigga like me. All these niggas look like this. All these weirdos to be stalking me and all that type of shit, they all look like this. All.
Oh yeah, and I wonder why LTG chooses to use the N-word when he's new age. I would think that as someone who is new age, you don't use the word niggas so, callously with such proclivity. So I think that he should try not to use that word in that context. He shouldn't use it at all because he has clearly ascended above the average nigger, the average N-word user. So I think he shouldn't. This pause is crazy though. He shouldn't reduce himself to using those words, even if it's to connect better with the audience. I don't think he should use it.
All of them.
Low to mid tier.
Man, get the fuck out of here. Balding too? How the fuck you just sit there balding with a Michael Keaton starter? Sloppy as f- really just saying this shit with a straight face. You know this nigga's attracted to me. You know this, bro. All right. Like this is why I can't stand the internet, man. It's just like, it's a market to just say some negative shit about me. That's the crazy thing about it.
Well, 4.5 PSL isn't low tier normie.
Yeah, that's higher. I probably rate it too high.
Man, go sit on a rubber beefcake, nigga. The fuck out of here. You must be out of your mind to ever rate somebody of my stature low. Nigga, I'm a one of one black. There's not a nigga on the planet that looks like me. I literally have to create anthropoids to look like me.
So he's not wrong. I've not seen his archetype. Like with a Duke Dennis, for example, his attractiveness is not in his face. It's more in the visage, right? Duke Dennis has created a visage that is attractive, but it's not really in the face, right? Recently he got not exposed, but he had a picture without his glasses on, right? And I mean, everyone was like, oh, okay. But Duke Dennis looks exactly like Future. So it's a visage. It's the glasses, right? So see that? Like, you could mistake this for a rapper. So he looks like a rapper. He has a particular style, right? And look, this is DDG. DDG doesn't have the same pronounced features as what's his name? Duke Dennis. Right? But there's an archetype. You can see the consistency. So if he starts putting on glasses, then he starts to look more like Future, right? So you see Duke. Okay, so here's Duke Dennis. Is this Duke Dennis? Without the glasses. See that? He looks like a rapper. He looks like someone. Look. So they all have the same look. This little TJ, I don't know who that is. So this is like Duke Dennis's best known picture, right? But as I said, oh my god, I just saw a horrid picture. Struggle days. So this is the struggle days. Doesn't look like he has much money here. So there's a visage, there's something that surrounds him that gives him the aura that probably comes from his status, not necessarily his looks. So it's a status that makes him look attractive. So that's why here he looks like every average convict, every average arrest photo, the profile. Remember the profile of a criminal in the hood? This is what he looks like, right? So you can find many people that look like this, but then once you elevate, once you ascend, right, then you start to look like that. You can see the background, the camera helps. It's filtered for sure. You can see the filter effect, but then it's similar, right? You can see, in fact, in this picture, you think he's reacting to himself. They look alike. They have the same style.
Literally, no black looks like me. I'm a one of one
Yeah.
black. And saying black.
So he's one of one. I've not seen someone who looks like low tier God. Like, literally.
Black is really limiting myself. I'm a one of one man.
Yeah.
If I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to survive all these years on the internet. Why do you think so many weirdos stalk and jack off to me and harass me? They're sexually attracted to me. If I wasn't, put it like this, if I looked like this guy, nigga, I'd have been phased out a long time ago. 100% I would have been phased out a long time ago if I looked like this fake, subreddit, fake looks max or fat.
So that's pretty much. So this is where I stopped. This is at this point I decided to watch the video. The rest of the video is a surprise to me. So let's watch it together and see what happens.
This nigga doesn't even touch a gym, don't sculpt his body at all, doesn't pay attention to what he puts in his mouth, doesn't count calories, doesn't jog, doesn't get on a treadmill, doesn't do any egregious activities, nothing at all. Why the fuck is a fat?
So you see the point. So this is where his trolls come in. I'm like, why is he using the word egregious? Right? Egregious just means something really, really bad, but he's using it in the context of the person doing exercise and the kind of exercise the person should do. And what he means by that is something intense. You're taking the outstanding part. You're taking the shocking part, right? He's talking about the intensity of the work that you're doing. So a lot of times, people listen to LTG because they don't understand the words. They just assume that he's using them wrong. And yes, lexically, they don't fit, but artistically, in terms of using them as a figure of speech, a litotes, a synecdoche, he's absolutely correct. It's called artistic freedom. So you have to be thinking at a higher level beyond the words that are being used. You have to think about what the person is saying rather than what words the person is using. And that's a skill that not many people have. Many people, I would say 85% of people, like, you need to use words that they understand in the context that they can understand. So they need your help when you're speaking to them. So that's why a lot of times you have to dumb down your speech. If you look at Twitch, if you look at all these Twitch streamers, Rakai, Ray, no, not Ray. Oh, well, Ray, because he got influenced. What I meant was Kai Cenat, Rakai. You see that a lot of times they have to they use low frequency, low vibration, 1-2 syllable words consistently, which is why Kai Cenat got made fun of for attempting to read and learn words. Right? The fastest way to build your vocabulary is by reading books, learning words, using words, speaking properly, right? And using words that are not common. The less common words are used to express ideas on a higher level than regular speech. That's why among black people, when a black person uses a word that's beyond 3 to 4 syllables, they are automatically convinced that the person is more intelligent than they are. If you look at what's his name, Michael Eric Dyson, there are people like that. Like it's a comedic thing within the black community where you have this black person who uses all these fanciful words. But again, a lot of times those people, they use that as snake oil to pretend that they are smarter than they really are. Right? And because they are talking to a really dumbed down audience that is easily impressionable, black people, they get elevated to a very high level. Like what's his name? I would say, he's an astrophysicist, but that guy, what's his name? The professor that doesn't write any papers, just talks on YouTube channels. The astrophysicist, Neil Tyson, I think. Neil Tyson, as I said, Michael Eric Dyson. There's another person. I think Mark Lamont Hill also does that, but not to quite the same degree. Also, Dr. Umar does it. But I mean, at least Dr. Umar has a little bit of personality. He's actually funny and actually has something that he's saying. So he's funny, so we understand it to be content. But everybody else, people like that, generally, they use it to just make themselves seem more intelligent than the average black person, which is not very difficult to do. So when Lotega uses those types of words, people are not quite up to his wavelength in reasoning. That's what I'm trying to say.
That disgusting blob of a dare rating a nigga of my stature. So you know what I could do and just look. I basically said everything already. You don't even comb your hair. Look at the side profile. The side profile. Even Harambe had a better side profile than this.
Let's see Harambe. Let's see what. No way. There's just no way. Harambe's side profile is crazy. Oh man. All right.
This is a disgusting blob, and I've seen this blob on the internet before, but I never thought for a second that this disgusting walking abomination, walking glutton, sin, a walking abomination glutton of sin. This is literally a ball of sin, a ball of glutton would dare speak on a specimen like myself. That is
okay. So again, to break it down again, glutton, right? He's a glutton, and gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. That's why he says that. So Christianity is considered a sin if excessive desire for food leads to a lack of control over one's relation with food or harms the body. Now, he didn't have to say all this. He just said it. He said all this in one word: gluttony. And that's the point. Most people are not thinking on that level. That's why you need a good vocabulary. That's why you need to read. You need to expand your horizons. That way you are able to condense very complex ideas into one word. He just called him a glutton, and he said the word sin, and he's trying to do that to correlate, to make sure that you understand that what he means by glutton is in the context of one of the 7 deadly sins. And then he's able to condense all these words into one. That's why you need a vocabulary. That's why you need to read a lot of books. You are able to condense complex ideas into one word. If you listen to someone like Rakai, if you remember one clip that went viral during the Streamer Awards last year, 2 years ago, I can't remember, Rakai was asked to introduce himself to the streaming world, to the viewers across the world, and he could not express himself. I mean, I don't know how old he is. He may not be 18 yet, but with the level of fame, with the level of notoriety that he has, his education needs a lot of work. He cannot speak. He's not eloquent. This is somebody who is a streamer who is supposed to stream for a living. So what does he have to do to keep his viewers entertained? He has to do things like throw sauce on people, do this physical stuff, steal someone's sneakers, light someone's house on fire. He has to do these antics, these monkey antics, in order to keep viewers entertained, because he cannot speak halfway as good as this. That's the point.
It's crazy. That is wild. That a fat, disgusting, blubbery, horrible-looking human being like this could dare say something about me. You don't even deserve to rape me. If we take this nigga's clothes off and just look at him, it's a melted blubber. It's basically a black chocolate slimer. Just stand.
The word blubber, he uses the word blubber like 8 times in this video. And we need to get... Do you see? So now, the average person hearing the word blubber, yes, he knows it's related to something being fat, but specifically, blubber is the fat of sea mammals, especially whales and seals. So, do you see what I mean? He uses the word blubber. There's a reason that word is being used. It's not just as an insult, it's also anatomically correct, but in the sense of using it as a figure of speech, a simile, or metaphor, actually. A metaphor. So, this is the genius of low-tier God, summarized in one video. I was right to pick this video to analyze. I was correct. Because it's so specific. It ties in. It's not just... The word blubber is not just being thrown around for no reason. He knows why he's using that word. And this is why. The fat of sea mammals is... Oh my God. He needs to be studied. You guys, as in the haters, if you spend less time hating on low tier God, you would actually learn something. And as I said, like, just the reason I took such an interest in low tier God's content, because he's very funny, but as I said, he uses words in ways that nobody on the internet does. I've been watching YouTube for a very long time. I watch KSI, Jake, Logan, Mike with the night shift. I watched who do I really watch? I watched, of course, El Presador. I watched 8 Thoughts. I watched Birdman. I watched White Boy 7th Street when he became a Battlefield guy. I watched Mark of J, The Crew, that was with KYL, Speedy, the Deluxe, and those guys. So I've been around YouTube a long time, watching YouTubers. Nobody has the same level of command of English language as Low Tier God in terms of using literary devices to do commentary. And Low Tier God is not even speaking as somebody who actually studied literature. I know he's educated, but I'm saying he's not speaking about it from this kind of academic perspective. He's just talking. And the fact that he's able to employ these devices, able to use them to dramatic and entertaining effect is worthy of praise. As I said, is genius level. You can't find many people talking like this. You can't. Joe Rogan doesn't talk like this. He's the number one YouTuber and number one podcaster in the world. No, he fucking doesn't. Those guys from Trigonometry don't talk like this. What's the name? I just mean in the expressive manner in which he does these things. Lex Friedman, name your favorite podcaster. They are not able to command the English language the way Lothier God uses it. I'm talking about wielding the language, wielding it to have a specific effect. Nobody does it. Nobody on the internet does it.
In there with glasses. You don't even got proper eyesight. Everything about this nigga is bad genetics. Every last thing about this is bad genetics. Big, sloppy, black, crispy, balding, receding hairline. I see the shit thinning right there in the front. Big Coke bottle glasses. Big Harambe grill. Look at this dude, bro. Man, you know what it is? This is what I was talking about earlier. It's a crime to be attractive. It's really easier to be ugly. I promise you guys. It's easier to be an ugly because you don't have people judging your every single, damn, this nigga frowned that way. Like, he did this, that, caught him at this angle. You don't have to worry about that when you're ugly. But when you're an attractive person, people are always going to over critique every little small increment about yourself. Man, get this black crispy ass nigga off my goddamn screen. What a goddamn disgrace. And shut your ass up. Get the fuck out of my stream. Don't use my lingo without being a sub. It's crazy. I'm like, when every time somebody say, oh, blah, 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 somebody said something about you on their stream, I just know it 10 times out of 10 is going to be something negative. You would think I killed somebody, art chicks, beat up women, scam people. It's just the same NPC mindsets with people online. Say something negative about me, maybe your clip will go viral. See me in person, dick ride me. It's just lame as f. That's why I hate streamers, bro. That's why I hate niggas who stream. All fake personality. Niggas create a fake persona that they not even for real like that in real life. Fake famous and shit too. Especially when you see niggas spam IRLs. They really just be like, just hold their phone like it's a goddamn vape. Just really just got the chat really feeling themselves. Like, that's fake aura. That's not.
Okay, now I hope that this last segment of this video is not talking about Clavicular because Clavicular actually didn't say anything bad about LTG. I hope he's still talking about that abominable rug. But I do think Low Tier God needs to at least show up to some of these IRLs. I think he needs to. I don't know whether it means like collabing with somebody or things like this, but he does need to leave the desktop, I think. I mean, he has very nice videos where he goes to the store to show, baked spaghetti recipes, things like that. But I really think he should try doing an IRL. He already eclipsed the FGC. He's already more famous than the entire fighting game community. So truly, it would be good if he manages to get around a bit, just walk around and see what happens, see what's possible. Because people like Lord are doing streamer games, Kai is doing streamer university. He doesn't need to join those people. I think he's far more advanced than they are. So truly, LTG's problem might be that he's not really intellectually on the same wavelength as these people because he's been around so much longer. And everyone else is like, they're really dumb, always clip farming, always, trying to do, some odd things. So truly, maybe the desktop is the safest place for him. But it would be really cool to see how he is, like, I wouldn't say maybe with a rampage, but again, you see, like, I think Low Tier God's content is a lot more intellectual than most of IRL. So he's right to have this reaction. I think he's correct. Because, yes, he's able to sit at his desk and react to stuff, but the insight that he puts on these things, it doesn't really translate to IRL stuff. It doesn't really translate to IRL content because Our content is more physical. If it's girls, it's more about flirting or saying something stupid, or she says something stupid to you. And LTG is not just doing that. LTG stuff is a little bit more cerebral. So that's why I love his content, and I hope you guys can see what I mean when I say that low tier God is right up there in terms of content creators. I really love his stuff. That being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Comment down below what you think. Out.